The Flash is running on water. It's time for Flash Chat episode 5. I am here with our guests, Andy Smith and Andy Smith. And I did that on purpose.
Two of us.
Two of them. And there's probably more.
Probably a few more.
Yeah. Probably more. Common name. But so this Andy Smith he's a comic artist, but he works for DC and Marvel.
Yep.
And what other things you work for?
Anybody that will pay me. I've worked for DC. I've worked for Marvel, Image, CrossGen, Dark Horse. I've worked for a lot of most of the comic companies, pretty much, because I've been doing it a long time. So.
Amazing. And we are in his studio today. And again, we have Andy Smith, the director from WCCB.
Hello.
He directs the news at 10. You can see his work weeknights at 10.
And 10:30, WCCB News Edge as well.
Oh,
That's
right.
Yes.
Good plug there.
Yeah.
Make sure to tune in. So, you guys like this episode? Think it was a good one?
Oh,
It was
yeah.
a good one, yeah.
I thought it was a pretty good one. I really liked Plastique, and I was kind of sad that she seemed to have died. What do you think? Do you think she's really dead?
No. Nobody in comics dies. Come on.
Exactly.
Unless you see the body or lack thereof, or if there was a hand floating on the water, maybe you go, "Oh my God!" But you didn't see anything. You just saw a big boom and water.
You just saw from far, far away. So I think she's gonna show back up. Do you agree?
She'll show up.
Like you said, in Comic Land, no one's ever dead, and I think they're gonna need the character at some point later down the road.
Sure.
And we were also introduced to Gorilla Grodd.
Fantastic.
Fantastic.
That's bananas.
Very nice.
Oh.
It is bananas. So we saw in episode 1, there was an Easter egg where you saw his cage. He had obviously escaped. Now, we saw some sketchy wells in this episode, but I thought he maybe, because of his interaction with Gorilla Grodd, he might not have been so sketchy. What do you think he was doing with Gorilla Grodd?
Well, I think he wants him for himself. I think he's still, behind it and still, pushing things in his direction for his own purpose.
Yes.
But that might not be a good purpose. It
We
could
don't
very
know.
be bad.
Yes.
So
He's like the puppeteer mastermind. And it seemed, now, I think they mentioned that they were using, when he was talking to General Eiling, am I saying it right? Eiling? Eiling?
I think
Yeah,
that was
something
it.
like that.
Yeah.
That general guy.
yeah.
I
Army
can't
man.
remember what, but I can spell it. But they were talking to him about, they were using Gorilla Grodd for telepathy for interrogation purposes. So it seemed kind of like he was releasing him to be nice, but then also perhaps, I don't know, he's got to use him for his master plan.
Yeah, he's still part of the plan.
He's still part of the plan. So what do you think about Iris's blog? How Barry kind of convinced her accidentally to put her name on it. Do you think this is going to end up pretty bad for her later in the season?
I mean, there has to be some threat to her, so you establish that, get your name on it. Oh, now we know who to go to. It's, they're connected somehow, even though, I mean, in the comic history, they get married.
Yeah.
So you kind of know where that's going anyhow. But I think she'll definitely be the Lois Lane, type.
Yeah.
If she gets put in peril somehow.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you like that scene on the roof?
I did like that scene.
I like what he does with his face.
Yeah, and
To
his
hide it.
voice modulation also was pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, that was cool. I don't know how he can. We were talking about this earlier. I don't know how he can work his vocal cords. He should audition for American Idol.
He should.
Yeah.
The
He
Flash.
could
He's busy saving the world right
That's gonna be. I think that's gonna be the finale. He's just gonna go off and be a pop star.
There you go.
He's gonna start his own super group. We did a poll. I was asking if we thought maybe they would get together, Iris and Barry, by the end of the season. What do you guys think?
I could see it possibly happen. I think the one, and it's not a huge complaint I have, is, but so many people know he's the Flash
Yes.
in the show. So many people know. And it's like, really? Everybody knows, but you're not going to tell her?
Yeah, I see. I thought that's what they were gonna do on the roof. I thought he
Yeah,
was gonna
right.
kind of tell her finally.
Yeah.
And she's grown up with him too, so she really should be able to pick up body
Yeah.
language and stuff
Yeah,
like
stuff
that.
like that. And just, her
Right.
dad knows.
Yeah.
If you tell her, I think you can trust her to keep the secret.
Sure.
Yeah, I would think so. And the reasons for her doing the blog were sweet, but again, I think it's going to end up getting her into trouble.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
I think it's going to be interesting to see when we were talking about he was running on water. Wells and the whole Star Labs crew seems to be pushing him to do more with his powers. Do you think
Sure.
maybe next episode he's going to break the sonic boom?
I think So
curious.
That's what they
That's-
tease. So I would expect if
Teased
they
it.
tease it, they're going to do it.
Well, I hope so.
I don't know if every episode they need to have him do something else because I mean there are limits to how much he can do. So it's like maybe save some of it.
Yeah.
But
But, you know, at some point we were talking about he should be able to vibrate fast enough to run through
Oh, yeah.
walls.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that will be introduced this season or if it's something that they're going to work up to all season and maybe that will become a thing where finale he's got to figure out a way to get into somewhere.
well, I also heard that this isn't his final costume.
Ooh. Well,
Yeah.
that is news I'm
that's
into.
Yeah, no, I
Interesting.
heard that.
A wardrobe
I was
change.
talking to a friend of mine in the biz,
Nice.
and he read somewhere online that this is not the final costume.
Interesting.
So I'm kind of curious about that too.
And, you know, that could have been referenced in this episode where he blew up the
Well,
one
and that's
last
just
Yeah.
it. When it happened, because I knew that, I was like, "Oh, do we get to see a new?" And then we didn't.
I hope it lights up and sparkles or something.
Interesting.
Sparkle flash.
Not Twilight.
I know. I don't like Twilight. Sorry, everybody out there. So speaking of being in the business, he's an artist. He's drawn The Flash. And what are some things that you're most proud of having done in your career so far?
I would say one of the biggest things is, well, it happens to be right
Oh,
here.
My goodness, we didn't plan this.
My How to Draw book. I wrote it back. It came out in 2000, so it's been out for a while. But it's a book on how to draw comics. So anybody that wants to draw comics, Drawing Dynamic Comics, look it up. Available at all the retailers.
There you go. That's a good plug. You should definitely check it. What are you working on now?
A book called Earth 2
Earth
for
2.
DC, which is like it says, it's Earth 2. It's an alternate Earth, alternate reality. So I still draw, Superman, Batman, and the main characters, but they're in different costumes.
That's neat.
So you can still look at him and go, oh yeah, that's Batman, but it's not the Batman you're used to seeing.
I enjoy the idea of the different costumes. I just like a wardrobe change. It's the fashionista in
There
me.
you go.
What do you think is like the hardest thing that you've had to draw that you're just like, oh?
Oh, what? Well, I mean, funny enough, and I had a hard time with them when I was in art school too, but horses are not fun to draw.
Horses.
I've had,
Pat Sajak would also agree with you.
yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
No, horses. My art teacher in school he gave us an assignment 'cause he was fantastic at drawing horses. He drew westerns back in the day, and we would draw them. We would all look at him and go, "What are these big dogs everybody's drawing?" And because they're tough.
Hard to draw a horse.
So I did a book called Claw, which is a Conan type character, and needless to say, lots of horses.
Well, where can we find more of your work if we want to check it out?
Well, my website, which is andysmithart.com, and if you want to go buy stuff, I love Heroes Aren't Hard to Find.
There you go, Heroes plug.
Yeah.
And are you going to be at any upcoming cons?
Yes, actually, there's the North Carolina Comic Con this weekend in Raleigh.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Saturday and Sunday in Raleigh, North Carolina. It's
Well,
the
look at
NC
that.
Comic Con.
Take a little drive on over to Raleigh.
2 hours north.
You can say hi to Andy Smith,
Yeah.
and then, when you get back into town, watch Andy Smith's work on WCCB News at 10.
Please do.
Yes, and this has been a great Flash Chat. Thanks for letting us in your studio.
Oh,
It's
thank
been
you.
very
Thank you.
cool, and we'll catch you guys next week.